She went to my school and spread a sickening lie. She told everyone I was a homewrecker who was seducing my own father. She pushed me until I had nowhere left to go but over the edge of a 15-story ledge. And as I fell, I knew one thing for certain. My mother was finally satisfied. In the delivery room, the doctor beamed as she handed me over to my mother. "It's a girl," the doctor whispered, her voice full of warmth. "Look at that skin. She's going to be a beauty when she grows up." The color drained from my mother's face, but not from exhaustion. It was pure, unadulterated rage. She lunged forward, grabbing the young doctor by her hair and swinging her palm across the woman's face. The hallway echoed with her screams. "You bitch! You swapped him, didn't you? Where's my son?" I followed every old wives' tale, took every supplement I was supposed to have a boy. It took a senior physician and a DNA test to finally quiet her, but the damage was done. When the results confirmed I was hers, she looked at me with eyes that dripped poison. It was only when my aunt called my father, Robert, and begged him to come to the hospital that the immediate violence stopped. My mother never forgave my aunt for that call. A few weeks later, once they were back in the quiet of our suburban home, my aunt came to check on me. My cries were weak, barely audible from the nursery. In the master bedroom, my father was sitting on the edge of the bed, carefully spooning warm broth into my mother's mouth. "Robert, swear to me," she whispered, her voice trembling with a desperate, sick kind of love. "Swear I'm the only woman you'll ever love. You can't love her just because she's your daughter." "I swear, Diane," he replied softly. "You won't hold her, you won't kiss her. She's just a guest here," he promised. And in the years that followed, my father proved to be a man of his word. In all my memories, we never once touched. No hugs, no high fives, no hand-holding, but even my father's cold distance wasn't enough to appease her. When I was 7, I walked 3 miles home from school, only to be met with a backhanded strike that sent me reeling. She had found a photo of me on my father's phone, a simple, blurry picture of me playing in the backyard. "You little tramp," she hissed, shoving the phone into my face. "Who taught you to pose like that? You're already trying to steal what's mine." I didn't even know what she was talking about. I looked toward the hallway, hoping to see my father, hoping he'd step in, but the door stayed shut and the beating continued. After that day, my father never took another photo of me. My mother's triumphant, territorial smile is burned into my mind. When I was 13, I saved my allowance for 6 months to buy him a birthday gift, a simple navy blue sweater. I left it on his mahogany desk in the study, thinking it was a safe gesture. That night, the house felt like a tomb. I walked into the living room to find a pile of shredded blue wool on the floor. "Think you're clever, don't you?" Diane sneered. "I see right through you, you little slut." She rained blows down on me until I was curled in a ball on the hardwood, gasping for air. The light was on in the study. My father was right there, behind the door. He never opened it. Diane spent her afternoons at the neighborhood coffee shop or the community pool, sighing to the other mothers. "It's my cross to bear. My own daughter is a seductress. She won't leave her father alone. It's disgusting." I became the ghost of the neighborhood. People whispered when I walked by. I learned to live in the silence until the woman moved in upstairs. Her name was Mrs. Miller. She was soft-spoken, kind, and always smelled like vanilla and rain. Whenever Diane locked me out of the house, Mrs. Miller would find me and slip me a granola bar or a juice box. She was the only light in my world, but God doesn't let lights stay in places like that for long. One afternoon, I was waiting on the porch for Diane to finish her bridge club. Mrs. Miller came down the stairs and noticed my lips were cracked and bleeding from the dry winter air. She reached into her purse and handed me a brand new tinted lip balm. "It'll help, sweetheart," she said with a sad smile. I had never used makeup. I didn't realize it had a rosy tint. I applied it, feeling a tiny spark of joy, just as my mother's car pulled into the driveway. The second she saw the color on my lips, her hand flew. The blow sent me sprawling into the dirt. My vision blurred into a sea of static. My front tooth was loose and the metallic tang of blood filled my mouth. She screamed insults so vile the neighbors came out onto their porches to watch, but no one stepped forward. To them, I was exactly what my mother said I was, a girl trying to steal her father's heart. Mrs. Miller heard the commotion and rushed down. I tried to crawl away. I didn't want her to see me like this. I didn't want her to hear the filth Diane was spewing, but my mother grabbed me by the hair and dragged me toward her. "Was it you?" Diane shrieked at Mrs.